Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's session, we are going to learn about an extremely important topic from assembly language programming, that is addressing modes. Now, whenever a processor executes an instruction, it needs to know where exactly is the data that I need, right? Is the data written directly inside the instruction? Or is it stored somewhere in the memory? Or does the processor need to calculate its location? Well, the method used by the processor to locate the required data is known as addressing mode. So, in simple words, an addressing mode defines how the operand of an instruction is used to find the data needed by the CPU. Different situations require different ways of accessing data, and that is why we have several addressing modes. Let's look at each one of these with examples. First of all, let's have a look at immediate addressing mode. This is the simplest one. In immediate addressing, the operand itself contains the actual data value. CPU does not need to go to memory to fetch the data. For example, in this instruction, LDM hash 200, the symbol hash tells the processor that 200 is the actual value, not a memory address. So the operation performed will be accumulator will directly get 200. So 200 will be saved in accumulator. Imagine I tell you, please write down the number 200. This is simply like that. I have directly given you the number. You don't need to search for it anywhere. That's exactly how immediate addressing works. So, in immediate addressing, operand contains actual data. It is fast because no memory lookup is required, and it is commonly used for constant values. Now let's have a look at direct addressing, also called absolute addressing mode. Both terms mean exactly the same thing. In this mode, the operand does not contain the data itself. Instead, it contains the address of the memory location where the data is stored. Suppose memory location 200 contains the value 20. Now consider the instruction LDD 200. Now CPU interprets this as go to memory location 200 and load whatever value is stored there. So first of all, CPU will go access memory location 200 and then that data, which is 20, is loaded into the accumulator. So unlike immediate addressing, the processor must access memory to obtain the data. So here, the operand specifies a memory address. CPU directly accesses that address and data is obtained from that address. So simple and easy to understand, right? Now, things become a little more interesting here when we talk about indirect addressing. In indirect addressing, the operand points to a memory location that itself contains another address. In other words, the CPU must perform two memory accesses. Let's have a look at the example. So let's say memory address 200, it has 20, which is again a memory address, and memory address 20 has the actual value, which is 5. Right? Now, if we look at the instruction LDI 200, now what's the meaning of this instruction? Here, first of all, CPU will access memory location 200, from where it will get another memory location which is 20. So CPU will access that memory location. And from memory location 20, it will get actual data which is 5, and that 5 will be loaded into accumulator. You may think of it like receiving a note saying your book is in the locker number 20. You first go to the note, then to locker 20, and then finally you get the actual book. So here, CPU requires two memory accesses, offers flexibility because addresses can change, and commonly used with pointers and dynamic data structures. Now let's talk about indexed addressing. This addressing mode is particularly useful when working with arrays and tables where index register is actually used in order to calculate the final address. Here the processor calculates the actual address by adding operand address with the value that is stored in index register, and that is how the final address is calculated. So if your index register has value 4 stored in it and memory location 204 contains 17. Now consider the instruction LDX 200. Now here what will happen? First of all, processor will calculate the actual address by adding, because this is LDX means index addressing mode is used. So first of all, actual address is calculated by adding 4 to 200. So 4 is value that we got from index register. This value is added to 200. Final address that we got is 204. So accumulator will get whatever is stored at 204, which is 17. We have just seen that 204 has 17 stored. So accumulator will get 17. So indexed addressing is useful for accessing arrays and tables, and it allows same instruction to access multiple data items. Now let's discuss relative addressing. In relative addressing, the operand acts as an offset, basically. The processor adds this offset to the address of the current instruction. So formula is target address is equals to current address plus operand. So suppose if you have instruction JMR hash 5, the processor calculates target address by adding 5 to 100. So target address is 105, and execution then continues from address 105. This addressing mode is commonly used with jump and branch instructions and makes program easier to relocate in memory. Finally, let's talk about symbolic addressing. Instead of using actual memory address, programmers use labels. Right? For example, here if you look at mystore:20, so mystore is a label, and then LDD mystore. So whatever is stored in mystore, that is used with this instruction LDD. So here mystore is simply a label, and during assembly, the assembler automatically replaces this label with the correct memory address. So the processor eventually performs the operation like this. Accumulator will get contents of mystore, which is 20. So you can imagine it like writing a friend's name in your phone instead of remembering their phone number. So labels make assembly programs much easier to read and maintain. And advantages are like programs, they become easier to read, easier to modify, maintain, reduces programming errors when memory addresses change. So these are some advantages. I have created a comparison table of all the addressing modes. You can pause the video and have a look. And here is a summary table for a quick revision for all of you. You may pause the video again and you can have a read. You can take notes if you want. Now, before we end the session, let's have a look at a past paper question. Question is, state what is meant by relative addressing. Very direct question. So you all know relative addressing is the value of operand is an offset value which is added to another base value to give the address from which the contents are loaded to the accumulator, and it's of 1 mark. So that's all for today. In today's video, we have learned about addressing modes. Remember, addressing modes define how the CPU finds the data required by an instruction. In our next video, we'll learn how to trace an assembly language program from the exam point of view. That is extremely important topic. So stay tuned. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is CS with SKS. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.